Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a throwback spread featuring Paper Trail Plan's Hygge kit. Hygge. I'm never gonna get it. This kit is in rose gold foil, and I really love the browns and the kind of peachy pink that's part of this kit. There's so much to work with. Fancy boxes, headers. I got the regular washi and also got the Kiss Cut washi, so excited to use that. I also picked up the full deco sheet, so this will be a deco heavy spread. I'll put down my header deco and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just realized that this is actually going to be a really long setup before I get into the plan with me, so I missed you guys and I wanted to come back. So I'm going to do some more kind of get to know you questions. I did in my other video the We Are Not Strangers ones and they were pretty intense, so I am going to switch over to some lighter ones now. So the first one is, what is your useless talent? So in the past, I used to say that my useless talent was packing suitcases until people started saying, that's not useless, that's great, that's an extremely useful talent. So now I had to think about ones that were truly useless, that like really didn't help anyone. And so my useless talent is identifying random actors in movies. So, my boyfriend and I have been watching older kind of heist crimey movies. Not only heist, but just general crime movies. So we watched the second Die Hard. And the main villain in that, spoiler alert, sorry, the movie's super old, is the guy from Terminator. And I was like, that's the guy from Terminator. That is so scary. And the second Terminator, that is. And my boyfriend was like, no, it's not. And I was like, yeah, it is. Totally. It totally is. And so we looked it up and he's like, yes. So this is a thing that I have a knack for, is just recognizing like, oh crap, that guy was in this other thing. And like, or she's from this, or like, that's the dad from blah, blah, blah. Like that is my useless talent. It doesn't help anyone necessarily. I feel like it wins me bets. So it's pretty useful to me because people are like, that is not that person. And I'm like, yes, it is. Yeah, I think that's my useless talent. So the next one is, what is your strangest irrational fear? This is a difficult one because I don't know that I have a ton of irrational fears. I mean, this is kind of a catch-22 because it's like, if you have a fear, you like, how aware are you of the fact that it's irrational? So I will say, I sometimes kind of go to like worst case scenario thinking often when I'm in a situation. So like when I'm riding the elevator, I'm like, what if this elevator got stuck and I didn't have any food or water in here and I died in here? Like, I don't have that thought often, but it happens enough where I'm like, okay, we should probably take a bottle of water, you know, if we're in the elevator, or like, you know, it's irrational. So I would say I have sometimes irrational thoughts of like, what if something really crazy happened and I got stuck here? But I can't say that I have a persistent like fear of something, like a phobia that persists. This kind of like, I have a random thought like, oh man, what if something bad happened right now, in a multitude of situations. But yeah. Explain an inside joke you have with a friend or family member. So as you all know, I have 4 siblings, 3 biological, 1 step sibling. And as such, we've had a lot of opportunities to have inside jokes with each other. So one that comes up a lot is we were going on a road trip somewhere, driving somewhere, and I had my headphones on, and so I didn't hear. I kind of heard, but I didn't really hear because I was listening to whatever was in my headphones. My family talking about horses and something about a horse. I really didn't hear it. Turns out that there was a truck that was towing a little trailer with a horse in it, and so they had started to talk about like, oh, look at that horse. I wasn't paying attention. Again, I had my headphones on. So we pull up kind of, we're on the highway, we're driving alongside the horse, and I yell out, look, there's a horse in there, because it was a huge horse, and I felt like it was in a tiny trailer, but I like shout it, and so everybody starts laughing, and I didn't realize why, but it's because they've already discussed the horse. So now, whenever someone has something to say that's really obvious to everyone else, my siblings will go, oh my God, there's a horse in there. And yeah, it's just, it's so mean, but it's not mean. It always makes me laugh because I was like, listen guys, I had no idea that you guys were talking about this horse. Like, I wasn't paying attention. Also, I have a sneaking suspicion that I didn't see it because it wasn't on my side of the car. It wasn't on the side of the car that I was on. So another one is, you know, as children, we watched a lot of Cartoon Network shows. So Cartoon Network used to be this thing back in the day. I mean, I think Cartoon Network is still on. Cartoon Network used to be this thing where, I mean, it's still on, I think. But it's basically like a channel where you can watch a bunch of cartoons. And I think Adult Swim is a different channel. Adult Swim is like the more kind of raunchy, risque cartoons like Family Guy, for example, or Futurama. But Cartoon Network had the kind of kid-friendly ones. So we watched a show called Courage the Cowardly Dog, which is now on HBO Max if you all want to watch it. I am watching through it now and having some like nostalgic memories from my childhood. But there's an episode where this really creepy hamster doctor, yep, that's right, kidnaps the main character, two of the main characters, Eustace and Muriel, and takes them to this lab where he has this other creature, and he puts them in basically a vacuum cleaner full of lint. And the other creature in there goes, this is my lint. You know, basically telling them, don't touch my lint. So now, among my siblings, when someone's being like a little, you know, not selfish is not the right word, but they're like being a little possessive over something, they'll be like, this is my lint, just randomly. Oh my gosh, it's very random. Also, I want to say that show, I'm watching it as an adult now, rewatching it, and I don't know how our mother let us watch this. It's very creepy. I'd say there's not very many adult themes. Like there's no, you know, sex or really gratuitous violence, more so than like a normal cartoon. But it is so creepy, you know? It's just too, I don't know how we didn't have nightmares, especially this lint thing. The person who says the lint, the character, has had like their hands turned into suction cups. So they just like, you know, climb up the wall. It's very creepy and scary. So, yeah, just, those are 2 inside jokes. What is the craziest thing you ever did on a dare? So the craziest thing I ever did on a dare was eat a chocolate covered tarantula. How did I do this? Well, one of my friends at work is from Australia, from Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne is how they say it. And he apparently in Melbourne, Australia, they have chocolate covered spiders. So he brought back a few of us. He had gone there to see his family, and he came back and he brought back a few of them for us. And everybody's like, ew, that's gross. I would never eat that. And I'm like, okay, well, if it's in a packet and it's packaged, it's probably not that bad, or at least it's like food safe. Like someone has looked at it and been like, you can eat this. I wasn't going to proactively eat it or try it, but I said, one of my friends was like, you wouldn't eat that. And I was like, it's probably food safe. And he's like, I dare you to eat it. And I was like, all right, I'll eat it. And the truth was that it really just didn't taste like very much. It tasted like the chocolate that was around it, but I didn't get like any kind of flavor of tarantula. God knows what a tarantula tastes like, but it didn't really taste like anything. But yeah, I ate a leg and I was like, that tasted like chocolate. It wasn't a big deal. I was also the kid in school. So Harry Potter had those bots every flavor beans. I think I've got it right. It's been a long time. But those jelly beans that had like weird flavors, and I was always the kid where someone would be like, oh, I bet you won't eat the booger one. And I'm like, it's a jelly bean. There are not actual boogers in this. So yeah, I'm gonna eat it, A friend dared me once to eat the one that tasted like horseradish. That was one of the worst things I ever put in my mouth, because it didn't just taste like horseradish. It was like spicy and sweet at the same time. It was so bizarre. Also, they had a vomit one that I ate that just didn't, again, I was like, it's not going to taste like the thing they said it is, because maybe I'm putting way too much trust in the FDA and like food safety, but I was just like, this can't possibly have anything that is not okay to eat in it because they're selling it to eat. And so, if it tastes bad, it tastes bad. Like, I can always wash my mouth out, This is not like if someone was like, hey, eat something completely inedible, I dare you. Like, I just wouldn't do that. But chocolate covered tarantula, Birdie Bots, every flavor beans, like, not a big deal. Not a big deal. What actor would you choose to play in your biopic? Also, I struggle with how to pronounce that word. Is it biopic or biopic? There's a word myopic, which means like short-sighted, etc. But it's not spelled the same as this. I don't know. My instinct is always biopic, but I think people say biopic. Anyway, this is hard because I'm trying to think. I don't know a lot of actresses that kind of look like me, or who would I want to play? You know who I think could play me actually? Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer would be great to play me. I think she would absolutely kill it. I love her in Insecure. I love the classic internet meme of her where she looks at that picture. I think it's of Dick Cheney, and she was like, who is this man? I don't know. I don't know this man. Sorry to this man, but I don't know him. But yeah, Keke Palmer could play me. I think we have a similar body type, and kind of similar skin tone. I also think she'd be really funny, and she'd be really serious when you need to be, and I kind of think of myself that way. So yeah, Keke Palmer. What songs are on the soundtrack to your life? This is weird. I feel like it changes a lot, because I'm thinking like, okay, if I was to make a soundtrack right now of like, here's all the songs that have influenced me, then that would be one thing. If it's like, here's the soundtrack to my life as it currently is, like my day-to-day, that's yet another. I'm gonna, go off script and answer the like, what is the soundtrack of like songs that have influenced me? So one song that would be on there, but generally a couple songs from this band, is Incubus. I'm dating myself a lot, but I, was super into 90s alternative, And Incubus, you know, was one of my favorite bands, is one of my favorite bands, although, you know, they haven't done a lot of their new stuff. I don't know how I feel about it really, but Brandon Boyd is the lead singer, and he had like shoulder length hair, and I just was just in love with him, you know. Oh my gosh. So one of my favorite Incubus songs that would definitely be on the soundtrack to my life is Dig. It's from their album Lights. I don't remember exactly what the album is. Darn, why can't I remember this? I'm gonna look it up. But I just love that song. You know, the lyrics are like, when I turn into another, you know, dig me up from what is covering the better part of me. It's like, yeah, you know, like I want someone to, you know, when I'm not like, you know, myself, or I'm feeling just differently, like I want someone to do the work to be like, this isn't you, you know, like let's get back to you. So I just really dig the lyrics. Yeah, get it. But yeah, that's one song that would definitely be on the soundtrack to my life. And Incubus, you know, again, they can do no wrong in my eyes. Well, that's not true. Their old stuff, like I said, I think is a lot better than their new stuff. Another band, Radiohead, for sure. In Rainbows, their album came out when I was in high school, and it was just like, oh my gosh, just blew my mind. So yeah, they would have to be on. I will continue this in my next video, as I see we're coming to the end of the spread. Hope you all enjoyed this, and if you're new here, feel free to click like and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye!